All right, guys, it's Melissa. Today's a little bit of a different video. I just had spaghetti, so that's why my lips are red. Um, a little bit of a different video here. Um, what an amazing, amazing day I had today. So, if you look at my videos, I just had this guy telling me every single time I go to a pantry, every single time this pantry, um, he is there. Melissa, how's things going this week? How's things going this week? Right? So it's been about 3.5 years I've been here. At first, I went to that pantry. I didn't know where I was. I didn't know what I was doing, right? And then I just didn't really go. Um, yeah, my car broke down, need an engine. And so as I've gone there pretty consistently, maybe the last, I don't know, year, maybe 6 months to a year, every single time he's like, "Oh my gosh, Melissa, what is going on in your life? Oh my gosh, Melissa, what? Your husband left you? What? You weren't here because your car broke down? What? You lost a job? What?" Every single time. And he's encouraged me with scripture. So, so this time I got to tell him about my car. And he's like, "What?" He's like, "What? Someone gave you $5,000 for this?" And I'm like, "Yup." And he's like, "Who was it?" And da 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 da. So we were talking about things. And this is a man who's quite the servant, guys. Every time I see him, he says, "How can I pray for you, Melissa?" So I was blessed with that today. And then I said, "Hey, how can I pray for you?" Which I've done before, but he's got a great nephew, he said, who has liver cancer. Those things you can't buy, guys. You can't buy those things, right? In life, we have our trials. If we need help with, rent or whatever, a car, gas cards, whatever, we can take care of that. Just today, my son needed a haircut, and I took care of that for him. And the reason, it's been what, a year of 13,000 for me, and I not only had to take care of myself, but I also looked after my whole family and helped my whole entire family. And in fact, I carried one son for quite some time who had no work. So, I had Kevin Leandro say once, "Oh, you didn't even pay much into the system here. You've made out more than you paid into the system." By what measurement? By what measurement? Are we talking about my taxes? Are we talking about how much income I make or how much I serve other people? When you look at how much I have served other people, especially my family, there's no money that can buy that. And just like this guy's cancer, you can't fix that, guys. We all are appointed to have a day to die. We all will die. I was just listening to a pastor today who said his somebody on the plane died. Like this passenger died on a plane. I'm like, "Oh my goodness, I can't imagine dealing with that." So, when we look at all the work I put into my family and serving other people, there is no amount of money that you could pay somebody for all that work that I do. So, so it's important to make sure that you can, ladies, get all the help that you need. When I paid for a haircut today, I'm getting a gas card to put the money back in my pocket that I paid for that. So it's important to take care of the finances because you can't take care of other things. I have a son who it looked like maybe he had a blood clot in his arm when he was donating plasma. He's okay, but it's not quite the blood clot. It's there's another name for it. It's a smaller little thing that can happen, but you cannot fix those things in life. Those are the important things. And then I was also blessed today with listening to a sermon about how we are in the business of restoring people. It's so true. It's so true. No one is too far from God to come to God and to know Him. So, I've invested in my family quite a bit, and that is um, so that my family will be walking with God. Now, where my husband left me, I'm in the business of restoration with him. That's what I'm in the business with. Um, there is no price too much to pay to work on your marriage. Now, like I said, there is this woman, I talked about the minimalist mom, who's out there saying, well, it just wasn't, I just wasn't quite happy. It just wasn't working. And somebody said, Melissa, why don't you exit the comments when I confronted this? Because you're judging harshly. And I'm like, oh, so you want me to exit the comments because I'm saying what Jesus said, right? There is no excuse, ladies, for divorce. Pretty much. Pretty much. There's no excuse. So, you know, it would be different if she had said in her video, oh, you know what? I actually chose to disobey God. I chose to not honor my husband because I didn't want to. There's sin in my life. I've fallen. I need to ask the community to forgive me for teaching such awful things. The church should have already dealt with this, so she wasn't online with this. Um, but anyways, as a Christian, this is not okay. So, just like a nice car, I saw a 66 Nova the other day at my work. You put in so much money, right? 50,000 or so into restoring a nice car. Why would you not restore a person? So this message was really good. I've been to a church recently with like cancel culture. Definitely. If they're not comfortable with something or they just don't like, anything that they can find on you, which I don't know still to this day what the problem was, um, you're not welcome. And we have seen this come into the Christian church. We've seen it in a million ways, whether it's through a job and somebody's a stuck up snob, fires you for no good reason, or whether it's through churches who like to be very divisive. No, no. I like what this pastor said. Nobody's sin is too great that God cannot save. And when I was growing up, you weren't like, there were some people, yeah, but you mostly accepted people, right? You were like, okay, this person did this, but that was a long time ago, and they've changed or whatever. But you just didn't, just throw people off into cancel culture. So, absolutely love this sermon. Very simple, very basic. David was a man after God's own heart. Moses had an anger problem. On and on it goes, and God saved these people and used them. And I would be totally 100% on with this pastor. When you fall from grace, it actually gives you more opportunity to show God's grace in your life and more opportunity to have a deeper walk with God. So we don't just throw people away, guys. And, at the same token that people were pretty much accepted when I was growing up, there was also some unconditional love where, well, if this person does this, then we won't talk to him or we will not, see him or whatever. So, we need to be people who are really humble and be like, you know what, I did that before. Or, oh, I've done that before. Oh, yeah, I remember when I did that, and God forgave me for this, and He forgave me for that, and He forgave me for this, this, and this. And thank goodness for God's grace. That's what we need to think in the church. This is the mindset we should have. And when you have a church that, you're not going to have contentions over, some things are just not worth bothering with, not worth fighting over. But you want to fight for that unity in a church. You want to be like, you want to speak your mind. I had to tell a church, why don't you go why don't you think next time before you talk, But then there's also that unity that's underlying and more important because we are in a war. They say Christians are the only family sometimes that shoot each other in the foot. So, we need to be much more, God, have much more of the mind of God when it comes to people in churches, guys. So that's what I got for now. Had a great day. Just hanging out at my home now, having some leftover